Hey family, it's Tasha Marbury Preppy. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. You already know what time it is. Get your drink, pull up. I've actually already drank mine. It's empty. But get your drink, pull up. Let's talk about it today. We're going to talk about our ability to do things as we move forward, right? There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. There's a lot of stuff happening with the planet. There's a lot of stuff happening with people in general, being unhinged, dangerous, violent. How you navigate through a world of that. How do you navigate through a world with all the nasty, evil politics and all the stuff like that, right? All the agendas. And moving forward, how do you, knowing that some stuff may not be available to us, how do you prepare now and get ready for that? How do you make sure that you have the ability to continue to do things? So I just kind of wrote a list of, thought-provoking, do you have the ability to do certain things if something popped off today, right? Whether it's a storm, whether it's job loss, whether it doesn't matter what it is, right? Mass, grid failure, an enemy attack of some sort, whatever the issue, concern is, do you have the ability to take care of you and yours? Take Maui, for example. Horrific event, right? And those that made it out of there, a lot of them lost their homes, right? So what, for example, in that situation, what's your ability to have somewhere else to go, right? What is your plan B if you had to leave? We just talked about this on the last video or the video before that of having a plan, but literally, what is your plan if something happens to your home and you have to leave? Even by choice, because a lot of people are like, I wouldn't leave. Right. I mean, by choice, you want to leave. What's your plan B, right? Do you have a plot of land somewhere? Do you have family members? Do you have a community that you plan to go to? At SHTF, you plan to stay at your place, but you have another SHTF, preparedness, like-minded community, friends, family that you plan to go to as a plan B. So what's your ability of a place to live, shelter? What's your ability to provide food, to forage, to hunt, to fish, to make food, to preserve food? Where do you stand right now with your food stores and how much you have and how long that would last? And, when does the panic set in for you and your family? Oh, you have food, you stockpiled, but at some point you would set in, some sort of panic would set in when you realize how much you have. I mean, even if you have a year, okay, you're not panicking right away, but eventually you get closer and closer to that year. If you don't have a game plan, you start to panic because where are you getting food? How are you getting food? How are you continuing to get food? Bringing food in, procuring food, right? Water. Like there's certain things we know that when a crisis happens, panic buying happens, people run to the store and they get these things. Food, water, gas, right? They try to get cash, they try to get stuff for their pets, stuff for their babies, right? Essential items that they don't have, hygiene, right? So what's your ability going to be if you can't go to the grocery store and get food and get water? How are you getting water? Where you live, how are you able to get water, right? Do you have water on your property, around your area, right? And do you have the ability to make it safe to drink? Okay. That is the key, is do you have the ability? Maybe you have access to water, but if you don't have the ability to make it safe, or you don't have the skill set to know what to do to make it safe, that's not good. Okay. So you don't really have the ability to continue on without the means of the store providing everything for you. What's your ability medical wise to take care of yourself, to medicate yourself, to provide vitamins or whatever, medical aid to yourself, medical care to yourself? What's your ability to hygiene, stay clean, to just take a shower? What is the ability? What do you have right now to continue to be able to stay clean? Maybe if you don't have fresh running water, right, for a shower that you just turn on and boom, you have a shower. Maybe you don't have that. So what do you have in regards to your ability to get yourself clean, to stay clean? Because not being able to keep yourself clean leads to infections, leads to death, right? There's a lot of stuff that can go bad with just your body and being able to maintain the cleanliness of your lady bits, your man bits, your feet. There's simple things, right? That if you can't keep those things clean, you can go downhill real quick. What's your ability to drive? Maybe it's the gas thing. Maybe it's your ability to get to another location. How much gas does that take? Do you have that gas on hand? Have you hidden that gas on the way to that location? Like, what's your ability to actually be able to drive somewhere, or continue to drive, or continue to do things that take gas, whatever that is. It depends on the situation, what's going on, whether you're actually doing that. But even something as simple as a gas generator, what do you have on hand? What's your ability for how long that will last? How safe is that to even run? Yada, yada, yada. What's your ability to go to the bathroom? A lot of people are like, well, I'll just, poop in the woods, wipe with a leaf, no big deal. Don't worry about it. I don't stress this. Listen, you should stress this because, one, you can get sick from bodily fluids. Those are biohazards that can make people ill if they are not discarded properly, taken care of properly, right? And so it does matter. It does matter where you go, how you dispose of it, how you bury it, whatever. And a lot of people are like, it doesn't matter, dig a hole, poop, be done with it. Yes, is it as simple as that? Sure, okay. But are the billions of people on the planet doing that? Right? That's the problem. And that's what you have to watch out for. And how do you make that situation as nice and pleasant as possible for you and your family, right? Without you just saying, oh, you guys are just going to all go out and just dig a hole and poop in it, right? Where do you live? You live in a busy apartment complex. Maybe that's not so cool, right? You live on some property and you have woods all around you. Okay, that's a different situation. So what's your situation and what's your ability to handle things? If your sewer system, your water, any of that stuff goes down now, those utilities that you depend on, what is your ability to continue to live your everyday life without that utility? How does it change? How does it change your everyday life? What do you have in place to replace it, to take care of it, right? You don't have sewer all of a sudden. You can't use your toilets. You're getting a notice. Do not flush your toilets. Do not flush your toilets. Don't use them. Don't use them. So boom, what are you doing, right? And of course, it depends on how big of an issue that is, right? On maybe what you're doing, but you've got to have a game plan. What's your ability to listen, to get intel, radio, and to be able to listen and understand what's happening around you, what is being put out. Not necessarily to transmit, right? Because a lot of people don't know how to do that, but the ability to just understand what's happening, what word is coming in is very vital. So, what's your ability to get intel? What's your ability to protect your family? Where's your level on that? Protecting your home, protecting your family. You're talking about desperate people, violent people, unhinged people, people who do not have, that are just desperate to look for those that do have, and to then try to take it. And to hurt people in the process. And so, what do you have on hand in regards to your ability to take care of your family, to protect your family, to protect your home, to protect your preparedness items, to protect anything that you've done, something as simple as a garden, something as simple as anything, your animals that you're taking care of. Now you have to worry about somebody trying to come and steal chickens, right? Not chicken eggs, but actually steal your chickens, or steal another livestock animal because they're starving and they're trying to eat that animal, right? What is your ability to take care of your family and to keep them safe, okay? What is your ability to trust people? What is your ability to adapt to situations? Those two are huge, right? People are like, I'm not trusting nobody except my family, us, me, right? But there might be a time when something happens and you have to make a decision on whether you're going to trust somebody. And this could be a family member. This could be a friend, right? But you have to do that situation, figure out what exactly it is that you're going to go off and base it, right? Me personally, God, I'm going to ask for discernment in everything, in every decision we make. That's what we'll be asking for, because trust is a huge thing. It's hard, right? But you might come into a situation where you have to have the ability to trust somebody, or you have to have the ability to adapt. That's going to be huge from jump. As soon as anything happens, that your ability to adapt is going to start right away, right? Because you're immediately adapting to change. Stuff is not working, something has happened, and you are now shifting to the plan B, which is different, and that's not easy for everybody to do, right? And so and the big thing about adapting is you might be able to adapt just fine, but the people around you are not. And so now you are spending a lot of energy trying to help those people around you adapt. And this could be something as simple as your own family, your own significant other, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your kids, right? And getting them to understand what's happening and to adapt in their own way. The more you talk about this stuff, though, then the easier it is for them to adapt as well. And you're not having to spend that energy doing that for them, and trying to, get them to understand what's happening, or get them to understand the changes that are happening and why those changes are happening. There's a lot of time, wasted time, that could be happening with just adapting to a situation. Okay. So I hope these things were thought-provoking. They're just to get your mind going. Things are bad. Things are bad. Weird stuff is happening. And we just continue to push forward, live life, trust in God, right? And just continue to prepare and make sure that you're as ready as possible, and that you're building upon that ability to be able to continue to do things that you need to do. Because we all know it's kind of like people who do a video like, hey, these things are going to be the things that are going to go first, right? It's like a no-brainer. Everybody's been conditioned, watch these videos, kind of knows, and people know what essential items are. The items that they don't, they're not like luxury items. They need these things, right? They're essential things to stay clean, to continue to live life, and just survive, right? And when panic sets in, panic happens, crisis happens, and people go after all these things in these areas, and they're looking for this stuff, then it just makes it that much harder for you. Because one, do you have these things? Have you adjusted? Do you have the ability to just kind of shift and adjust and adapt? But there's a bunch of people who haven't done that, and now you're up against all those people as well, who might be coming your way trying to, take what's yours. Okay, so some food for thought. I'd love to hear your guys' comments below, what you guys think of this video. What do you guys think about the various things that I discussed? What do you think are some points that you would bring up, or that you think are important as far as you're having the ability to do, right? And let's keep the conversation going. And I will see you guys next time on the next video. I just picked up my coffee like I was going to take a drink. There's nothing in it. And I will see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye.